Alright guys, welcome back, and I quickly wanted to talk and show you one of the cool new decks that will come probably with the next pack. We might already get this next week, because next week on Monday we will get a new pack, and the theme, like the artwork theme, would fit to Melodious. If we don't get Melodious there, then as I've said in the video yesterday predicting what might be in the next pack, if you have not seen that, it is in the top right corner. I have predicted that Melodious will be pretty sure the safest bet to be in the next pack, so I guess we will have this archetype by the 10th of November, and I want to show you what this deck can do, because this deck actually has its own branded fusion now, Ostinato, which acts like a branded fusion. It's totally crazy. And they also received other new cool cards like the Refrain, which is a good one card starter, and the Couplet, and I will show you in a minute what this deck can do with this one card Ostinato branded fusion combo. But here is how this deck could potentially look like. We will take a look at the combo in a moment here. As we can see, we have the Soprano. We are playing two times the Soprano. These are the old cards. We have one Cannon, we have one Chopina. There's also an old one that can target one Light Fairy type in our graveyard and add it to the hand. This is not once per turn. If we resummon this, and you will see this in the combo, we can use it once again. Refrain can add us one, which can add this Couplet, also a new card. This is also a Pendulum archetype, by the way, but not that complicated. And the new card Couplet here can then, when added to the hand, special summon something from the graveyard, kind of like a Poplar. And then if we scale it, can search Melodious Concerto, another fusion card that gives us the ability to fusion summon. This has its own starter. This is an older card, first movement solo. If you control no monster, special summon one level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your hand or deck. So this is a nice starter that doesn't even waste the normal summon. We have the new Concerto, one of the fusion cards that will also give us a free card. And then we have the Ostinato, which is the branded fusion of the deck. If you control no monsters, you can fusion summon one Melodious fusion monster from your extra deck by using two monsters from your hand and or deck as fusion material, branded fusion. And then during the end phase of this turn, destroy the monster fusion summon by this effect, which is not a problem because we won't have it on the end board, because we will make the new Bacca, the Melodious Maestra, which gives us a very good start in our combo. We have the Aria, which basically protects us from being targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle. Very strong, which means our opponent cannot interact with our end board. With our new boss monster Flowering It, while the Melodious Magnificent, we also have an Elegy, which basically boosts all of our monsters. The Sonata, which also boosts our attack points, making it easier to kill the opponent. And then, as you can see right here, we have a lot of non-engine space. We are playing triple Imperm, triple Ghost Dogger. We have two triple Tactics. We have obviously triple Maxi, Ash Blossom. We're also playing a Pot of Prosperity, and then we have the Quad Buy and Crossout package, so we can play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, minus the pot, I guess. So we are playing 18 non-engine, which is definitely a very healthy engine to non-engine ratio. Refrain is a very good one-card starter. First Movement Solo is a good one-card starter, and then Ostinato is also a very good one. So we have basically 9 cards here that are very great one-card starters. Then you can also make something work with the Couplet, even though the Refrain as well as Ostinato and First Movement Solo is better, Ostinato being the best one. And we'll take a look at this in a moment, how this actually works with one card. A very impressive board. We have Bacca, the Melodious Maestra, our new boss monster Flowering It, which can basically, via quick effect until the end phase, banish any number of Melodious monsters we control, and then we can return up to the hand face-up cards our opponent controls to the hand. And remember that this cannot really be interacted with if you have your Aria on the field. This deck is very strong into Snake Eyes. It's a very effective Snake Eyes counter, and we will have Snake Eyes back in the meta when we get the Fiendsmith stuff, the Fiendsmith engine, which I will talk about in a future video, and this is not too long off in my opinion. We will get the Fiendsmith stuff probably quite soon. Maybe not within the next pack, but the pack afterwards, we could definitely see a Fiendsmith coming. We have the Schuberta, another really insane card in the current meta. During either player's turn, you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyard, banish them. This is an old card, which is why it doesn't say quick effect, but it is a quick effect. So this is very effective against Snake Eyes, against Fire King, against Jubel. Might also be effective against Tenpai if you remove the cards that they want to revive. So yeah, a very strong and very effective deck here, and I will show you now the one-card combo Ostinato and what it can do. It is quite insane. Alright, we are Ostinatoing away. We have the Ostinato we are going to activate. You don't even need a discard, it's just Ostinato, just branded fusion basically. We are going to get into the grave the Soprano as well as the Refrain. We will be able to add this to our hand in a moment here and make the Bacca, which I just talked about, the new card here. Bacca says 2 Melodious monsters while you control the fusion summon card. The activated effects of your Melodious fusion monsters cannot be negated. Very strong. Also cons for this one, obviously. You can only use each effect of Bacca once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Melodious monster from our deck. Very nice. Gives us additional play, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can also target one Melodious monster in our graveyard and special summon it. So this gives us 2 more summons. So this basically costs us 2 monsters from the deck and then gives us 2 more summons plus her own body, which is an insane starter. So Baka will now activate to summon the Shopina, and Shopina is the one I talked about, which can add from the graveyard. We are now able to add our Refrain, which is a very good normal summon starter. We are normal summoning her, and then if this card is normal or special summon, we can add one Melodious monster from a deck to hand. This is what we are going to do. We are adding the Couplet, and Couplet says, quickly have to read this card. Couplet says that where's the monster effect? If this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it for your normal draw, so basically Poplar, you can reveal this card, special summon one level 4 or lower Melodious monster from the graveyard, which is very nice. We are now able to special the Soprano, which Soprano can also make a fusion summon, very effective. We can now scale this girl, and then she can search the card I just talked about, the Melodious Concerto, which Melodious Concerto is a fusion card that doesn't allow us to fusion from the deck, but also from the Pendulum Zone, so we can use this Couplet here. So we're activating Concerto here, going into our new boss monster with these 3 into the Flowering Étoile, the Melodious Magnificent. And another really cool thing is that in theory, if we now get targeted, which we can't with the Baka protection, our fusion monsters here, but if we would get targeted, we still have the ability to use this quick effect to basically dodge, where we can banish any number of Melodious monsters. So if, for example, our opponent targets something, we could use the Étoile and then just bounce one of our monsters to the banished until the end phase and dodge an opponent's Imperm, for example. Very effective. So here's the Concerto, and now we can activate the trigger effects of Couplet as well as the Refrain when they have been used. I have to quickly read this. I think when they have been used for a fusion summon, we can scale them. If a Melodious fusion monster is special summon to your field while this card is faced by an extra deck, okay, we can place them. We can place them both, which allow us to have a pendulum scale, which we won't even use. And if you have more cards in your hand, more monsters, then you can also pendulum scale. This we won't even use. But now we will use the Soprano's effect to fusion summon. We are using the Baka as well as the Soprano herself for our other boss monster, the Schuberta I just showed you, which can basically banish from the graveyard. Now in the trigger effect of the Baka activates, we have just read this, where it can resummon, in this case, our Soprano, and also Concerto will activate. Concerto has a second effect. If a Melodious fusion monster is sent to your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, which just happened, we can place this card on the bottom of our deck and then draw 1 card. So a free card, that's very nice. We are obviously going to do this. So this is 1, 2. And then the Concerto will go back into the bottom. We draw a card, a random one, and we will summon back to our field the Shopina, which once again can add something from the graveyard. Another cool thing that Refrain can do, I guess she can't do enough. There needed to be more effects on her. The third one, basically, we can target one Melodious fusion monster we control and send one Melodious monster from deck to the graveyard, and then the other monster gains attack points. Not that relevant, but we can send to the graveyard the Sonata, the Melodious Diva, which can be special summoned if we control Melodious monsters. Because this is not once per turn, we can now use Shopina to add this card from the graveyard to the hand and special summon it. And now we get into one of the most insane monsters. This is not a new one, this is an old one, but it's super strong, and hitting this with infinite impermanence also is very strong. 2 fairy monsters. If this card is link summoned, we can discard 1 card for cost, special summon 2 Melodious monsters with different levels from our deck to zones this card points to. This is why it's very important to keep this zones clear, or if you wanted to place these on the left side, you would need to keep these zones clear, obviously. So we are going to discard the card we have just drawn here to summon the Aria as well as the Elegy. Aria once again basically protects us from being targeted by card effects or battle destruction, whereas the Elegy says while this special summon card is on the field, all fairy type monsters gain 300 attack, and also all special summon Melodious monsters cannot be controlled by or cannot be destroyed by card effects. So can't be targeted, can't be battle destroyed, and can't be destroyed by card effects. So basically says that our opponent can't really destroy anything here or get rid of anything. Our opponent would need a non-target banishment to get rid of any of our cards here, and this is crazy. And just remember that we also have the ability to now basically, if we wanted to banish 5 Melodious monsters, which will come back in the end phase, to bounce 5 cards on our opponent's field. We have our Schuberta, which can banish from the graveyard 3 cards, very effective against a lot of decks. And then we have this protection as well as all the follow-up that we have here, because obviously we we have stuff on the extra deck here that we can pendulum summon. We have our pendulum scale up, and we will probably most likely keep a lot of our monsters because they just can't really be interacted with. This is a very strong end board, especially because this was made by only using one card, the Ostinato, the branded fusion of the deck. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it will be pretty nice in Master Duel when it comes. As already said, I guess we might see it next week on Monday, but probably we will see it in the next real selection pack. Obviously, this is not super great in the Max C, like every combo deck is, but very, very strong. And you will have 4 more cards in the hand. Let me know in the comments what you think of this deck. Are you excited for Melodious? Do you want to play this? Have you maybe already invested into the Melodious cards? Because we have the most of them we have already in the game. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for being here. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.